Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Jez7780, with another What Grinds My Gears episode 27. Gamescom prep, Xbox One X, PSVR at 3 million, and some special edition consoles. But this is basically going to be kind of a hodgepodge, quick rant. Not quick, I don't know what it's going to be. You know what you get here. You get randomness, we get facts, and we get emotion. But we're just going to go through some of the things as we prep for Gamescom next week, which I'm sure I'm probably going to lose my voice doing a bunch of these things because I'm sure Xbox is not going to do what I want them to do. And, I don't want to keep talking about the same things, but it just keeps some of the stuff just keeps coming up. But, come join me on this journey. On your way home from work, what better way is just sitting in traffic to listen to somebody bitch about video games and what one company is not doing what they should be doing. But we talk about everybody, I talk about everything. But specifically, kumbaya. But anyway, it's all kumbaya here. It's all kumbaya. Check out last night, playing at Xbox. Yeah, it was lit. And I mean lit in the sense where I had all my lighting going on. What's up, Savage? How you doing, man? I had my background lighting on, my Philips Hue. What the hell are these things called? The Hue Go One, the Hue Goes. They're basically like little dome lights, use batteries, and they are they're pretty damn cool. And they could also use a plug-in, and they work just like the Philips light bulbs. They're about like $80. But they are so cool. I use them all over the place. They have candle mode and all that other stuff, but they work with all that Philips Hue apps and stuff. It's pretty cool. But I had them going on last night, though, playing Xbox, had my strobes and strobe lights and everything else. But check that out. We had a good show last night, some good chats, good talk going on. And, some of the things I might expand upon, what we're talking about today. And, come join the chat. And, I appreciate everybody in the chat. Just say what you want. Usually that's what's kind of directs the show where I go with stuff is, what you guys want to hear. What's up, Joseph, baby? How you doing, man? There you go. Are you on the Spider-Man subway? That thing looks crazy, that Spider-Man thing, man. That Spider-Man subway looks insane. Like, even the seats have the friggin' Spider-Man symbol on them. I was like, damn, that looks insane. So it's not even like a big sticker on the side of a train, but it's actually the seats have all stickers on them, too, with the Spider-Man. It's pretty cool. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the Gamescom stuff. So we know Gamescom, I believe it's next week. And we know how both Microsoft now Nintendo, I don't know what the hell they do with Gamescom. And they march to their own tune. But Microsoft has had presence at Gamescom. Actually, last Gamescom, oh man, that was cringeworthy. That was some cringy stuff right there. Last year's Gamescom. They sat around a bowl full of controllers. Bowl full of controllers. That's cool, man. But yeah, a bowl of controllers. Shannon Loftus dropped some hideous quotes about Recore being on the level of Halo. And yeah, it was kind of a nightmare last Gamescom. This year, I think they're going to replace that whole sit-down thing with Major Nelson's Inside Xbox, which those things tend to be cringeworthy as well. And they're just going to have their booth over at Gamescom. And they're going to have their FanFest over there. Now, with Sony, those guys, I think they'll drop some news. They really don't have a keynote or conference or anything. And a lot of their news they drop at Paris Games Week, which I believe it's next month, is the Paris Games Week where they drop a lot. Last year, they talked about Days Gone, and I think they showed Guacamelee 2. So we'll see what they do this year. But yeah, maybe they'll show more of. I don't know if they're going to show that have big spectacle like E3, but we will see what they do. I'm not sure what their layout is. Microsoft just kind of has it laid out. They went on Xbox Wire, said about going to Gamescom. So, and then now there's rumors of the Elite 2 controller, which they're saying that it has 3 clicks of hairline. So let's talk about this controller. I don't want to talk too much about friggin' controllers because I think we have enough of them. But this Elite 2, another $150 controller, saying that it might have 3 stops of hairline stuff for the control for the triggers. better grips, and better, because those things kind of were shoddy. Some of the elites, mine's held up pretty well, but so some people just had nightmare stories with them, and and I guess basically it's going to have, the biggest thing is an internal battery, which I know there was a debate going on Twitter with people saying about the PlayStation controller have an internal battery, and Xbox still using AA batteries, and there was everybody loved the AA batteries. They said, the controller, it loses the memory after a while, and then your control becomes useless because the battery's internal, all that kind of stuff. I understand, and it might be USB-C as well, similar to probably the Nintendo Switch controller, the Pro controller, which has USB-C and has a built-in battery. I think, I'm a proponent right now of, I've liked the internal batteries. The AA's are kind of a pain. I do think the Xbox utilize the AA's better, like with the longevity of them. Like, I think they were very good with maintaining the power over a long time, but the AA's did become kind of annoying. And I can tell you perfect examples of some of the stupid things where the Elite controller, the back cover that uses the AA batteries, the back cover, it's different than the other controllers. They put two notches on the Elite controller where the other controllers had 3 notches, and vice versa. Let me see. Don't want to be giving out fake news, but I'm gonna tell you. But you got to deal with these flat things. Now, okay. So the Elite controller has 3 notches on them, and the Pro controller had 2 notches. The regular controller, and you could not use the same back of the click of the controller, and it's kind of sucked. When I was like trying to trade in controls and stuff, I basically used like those Energizer back battery packs, because I found that those were better than just throwing AA's in there. And like I had put a special cover on the back, because it had the basically the metal parts that would click on to charge it, so I didn't have to keep swapping out batteries. But I do like they could just plug it in USB and have it charge. Using the PlayStation controllers now for a while, it is something that's like a set it and forget it. That light bar does destroy the batteries, though, pretty long. They don't last as long on the PlayStation controller. But I don't know. I you know what? Using the PlayStation controller more, I do feel like this is there's more technology packed into the PlayStation controller than the Xbox controller. I think the touchpad, the light, the speaker, stuff like that. I do think that these controllers, the PlayStation 4 controller is pretty impressive. The PlayStation 3 controller sucked. But and then I have the Elite controller here, which the battery lasts. I do like the touchpad. We'll see what they do with this. They should just put a friggin' share button on the stupid controller after a while. Like, with all these updates to the dashboard and stuff, you think they would just have a quick share button on it. I can tell you right now, for my Elite controller, I never used this kind of mode 1 and mode 2, like where it's like you could set the configurations up. I don't know. You know what? The Elite controller right now, it's still $150. I think you saw, if you follow me on Twitter, basically they got this. It was on the same shelf as Pie Face. I said it yesterday. Like, the touchpad, is that what it is? Yeah, it might be the touchpad. But I gotta say, Savage, the touchpad on the PlayStation controller, it is pretty nice when you could just like touch this big area to get a menu up, rather than trying to hunt for a little button, like in a game. Like, I do think it's kind of cool to do the touchpad. It's just that big area, but we'll see what they do with the next set of controllers. I don't think they're that bad, but the battery, on the PlayStation 4 controllers, the battery is pretty bad. Like, it's definitely draining on it. And I kind of do like the little speaker in it. I do think that's cool sometimes. Rocket League and stuff like that. Even I was playing Oxenfree, and like in Oxenfree, the radio signal, the dial and stuff comes through the speaker of the controller, and so you hear like the news stories, or when you're tuning in the channel, it comes through the controller, not on the TV. And you could change that, but I thought that was pretty cool. Same thing with GTA, like the phone calls and everything come through the controller. It's a cool little effect, I think. But yeah, with this talk about Gamescom and this $150 controller, like if it's just refinement, they really, I think they'll probably announce too that the old Elite controller is like $100 or maybe 70, maybe 100. That thing never dropped in price, and it's just collecting dust at Best Buy shelves from where I've seen. That thing is just basically just sitting there like in $150. I remember when they first came out, they were hard to find, they were impossible. I got mine because I bought Elite console, which wound up being cheaper than which was like they had a crazy sale for the Elite. Xbox Elite. It had the SSD in it. Remember that? They put like a few memory, a different fragmentation that had faster speed for load up of the operating system. Whatever they did in that Elite control, that Elite Xbox One, they had the Elite controller, which at the time was hard to find. I got that instead, and I kept the Elite controller. Got rid of the console now, but I kept the controller from PC stuff. So we'll see if they just fix it and refine it. Like, I don't know who wants another $150 controller. I don't know. I hope that's not just a refinement. It would be cool if it was something new to the controller. Maybe and maybe they'll announce next week at Gamescom that you could customize it. Like, not only is this Elite 2 controller available, but you could also, it's in the shop, so you could add different colors and stuff. That would be cool because people have been asking for that. That you could just create a custom Elite controller with different colors and stuff like that, different buttons and stuff. Not with the, maybe you get different analog sticks. I know that was another thing they tried doing with the analog sticks, having like Gears of War and Halo, but it wasn't even from them. It was from third-party licenses that will make those things, and then you could swap out the touchpad, and the sticks that have like Halo on them with Gears of War, or the flaps on the back, which I took those off. Those things were annoying and they kept falling off. Those quick triggers on the back, like it really didn't do much. They were just kind of annoying in there. But we'll see what it does. That's my it for controller talk. You know how I feel about controllers. They should make them, if they're gonna make controllers, make them about games. There's fan art out there that's incredible that should be on controllers. Instead, they release just color changing, like color controllers. Hell, even that would be cool. Like, what if they had a color changing controller where it was like a temperature, like how they do with the car, like Hot Wheels. Like, it was blue, but then when you hold it, it would like turn red from where you're holding it from the heat of your hands. Like, that would be pretty cool. Like, if you talk about controllers, but that's like innovative shit, or that's like fun shit. Microsoft don't do fun shit. They just boring ass shit with their controllers. So, they still have that cheap ass grip on the back. Like, it's a grip. It really is not even a rubberized grip. Like, it's just a textured back. Like, I think only 2 controllers had a real rubberized grip on it. Like, put a real grip on the friggin' controller. Let's go. Make it a grippy. Like, don't just put this like textured back, or like, because it's even on this one. What is it? It's like I think the Elite has it. Yeah, it's not even like super rub. It's kind of like a texture type. Like, they can make it a little bit grippier. Like, definitely. Like, this is, I don't know if this is rubber or plastic. I don't know what the hell this thing is on the Elite. They could make it better. They could. And it's like, that's the Elite right there. Oh, cool, man. Hey, Cali Rex, how you doing, man? Rise of the Tomb Raider and Tomb Raider, yeah. Tomb Raider was great. The first one was pretty cool. The second one, I didn't beat it. I got about halfway through the third hub, and I didn't finish it yet. I still have it on the computer. It actually came free with my graphics card, and I had it on Xbox. But I got finished that one. The first one was good, though. I like the first one. And we'll see what the third one's going to be, building up the story. I'm not sure what the story is. She's still becoming the Tomb Raider, and we will find out, how that goes. But it's going to be pretty cool. Oh, wow. Steam is having a big sale. Go check it out over there. But, oh, wow. Really? Now, I'm going to tell you something, Savage. You're using your first day one Xbox controller. Now, that one has the infrared lights on it. So if you look at the top of it, you'll see little red flashing on it. And that was because it was supposed to utilize Kinect, that when you hand off the controller uses the connected face recognition and saw that was controller 1, and they'll automatically log you in. So you pass the controller and it'll log you into your account. And I remember that the first one, like, it had the flashing light on the top of it. Like, it had the translucent top, like a remote control, had the infrared light on it, and that was for Kinect, and they took that out. And that one does not have the headphone jack in it either. That one had to use that big hockey puck thing that drove me insane because I'm such a headphone person with gaming headphones that I had to wait for Turtle Beach to get it, and Turtle Beach had to basically you had to register and get the hockey puck in the mail to click it on the bottom to use chat, or there were only certain parties that would actually support that hockey puck thing at the bottom of the controller. Ugh, what a disaster. Xbox has been such a freaking roller coaster, man. But what I have to say is, like, we'll see what this new Elite controller is. I assume it's going to be customizable, and, I'm sure they're going to be very happy with white gloves showing this controller. And we go into another holiday when Xbox is pumping out hardware and no software. So add that to the list of holiday number 2, where we got hardware last year with the X, and now this year we get Elite controller, and there's their hardware for the holiday. So I don't know. I'm just still perplexed on how we're in this situation. How Microsoft they used to save up for the holiday, man. They used to drop, just think about the day. You're talking about Tomb Raider, right? Rise of the Tomb Raider, when it released on Xbox, they had Gears Ultimate, Halo 5, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Forza. And that was if you were here 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that was your lineup that you were sitting here in August knowing that was coming out for the holiday. Now you're sitting here in August and there is zero from them. And last year you sat in August and you had Lucky's Tales and Forza. It's been bad. And next year maybe they have Gears of War 5, yay. And the next game to look forward to, and those yet supposedly coming out, but the next game you got to look forward to is Crackdown 3, which brings me to the biggest topic that I want to talk about as Gamescom is Crackdown 3. We're going to do a screen share for this one, guys. So sorry for you that are just listening by audio. You could see it when I go live, but I am going to do a screen share because there's something I've been doing some research, Yo, boy Jez, I do some research. I don't just talk out the ass. I'm I want to just look around before I make my judgments. I gotta do this. Now, how the hell do I do this shit? Here we go. Now, I'm gonna go do my ish. Here we go. Do this. And let's go to here we are, Xbox Wire. You all can see we're on Xbox Wire. Here we are. Oh, baby. Jump in. How nice. Using the catchphrase back when you had the 360. And everybody's doing jump rope. So we come back. Jump in. How original. Okay. Xbox is coming to Gamescom. Now, this is July 18th, right? July 18th. We're going to go to the other one, too. Let's look. Oh, man. So much text. So much stuff. First, they're going to have Inside Xbox. Here's a quick look. We got Inside Xbox on Tuesday, August 21st. Okay. A fan fest. And remember, they had to edit this. Remember, this was the whole big thing with Windows Central and stuff. Was it Windows Central? No, it was The Verge. What's The Verge? It was one of those fucking media bullshit things. But they were complaining about how it basically said right here, let me highlight it. It says, new Xbox One bundles and accessories. They basically said new Xbox hardware. And everybody was like, oh, they're going to show new hardware. And they're going to show the next console. Oh, man. Anyway, new Xbox One bundles and accessories. So I'm assuming they're probably going to have a Forza bundle. And the accessories we know is going to be the Elite 2. So maybe they got a Forza bundle, and they got to get rid of that friggin' PUBG bundle. My God. That thing is just broken-ass game in a bundle. What a value. A $30 demo game and preview. There's your value right there. Whoa, man, Xbox is really hitting hard. Microsoft is really taking a hit on that one. Some bullshit right there. But anyway, so we got new Xbox One bundles, probably a Forza one. Maybe they'll have a Battlefield bundle, maybe. you know, because they got the partnership with Battlefield. It's probably the only partnership they got. Or maybe Assassin's Creed. Actually, they just rinse and repeat from last year. Like they had the Assassin's Creed Xbox One S. And, you know, the question is do they bundle Forza Horizon with an X? Or do they do their bundles with the S and keep that PUBG bundle, which has been recently released, with the X and maybe not have an X holiday bundle? I'm thinking they might do one X holiday bundle, maybe throw Battlefield in there with an X. That won't be pretty. That'll be pretty good. But those are the only two: Assassin's Creed and Battlefield, and PUBG and Forza. Like that's about it. Like they can't bundle Red Dead. They're not going to do Call of Duty. You know, they're not going to do like Just Cause. Like I don't know what else they're going to do. Like a big holiday. Yeah, that's probably what they're going to do with it. But we'll see. But anyway, I'm looking Xbox booth, and you know what? We're going to do something fun because you could read it, but we're gonna do like here. Oh, a mixer booth, and buy Xbox gear. Oh yeah, you got to buy that shirt that says Xbox on it. Engagement, baby. We're gonna hit Control F, and oh look, I did it already. Crackdown. Let's see, Crackdown, because guess what, guys? This game is coming out February 22nd, 2019. Right? It wasn't at E3 playable. It wasn't at E3. It just had a little skit of it on the E3 stage. Gamescom's the next big one, okay? So it has to be a Gamescom. It has to be here. So I got to hit this because this got to be the headliner of Gamescom. Zero out of zero. Crackdown is not mentioned any on this page. It says right here, oh, here we go. The stunning historic Forza Horizon 4, Ori and Will of the Wisps. Hey, Ori and the Will of the Wisps comes out next year in 2019. They got no problem showing that shit. But Crackdown, nah, we're not going to show Crackdown. That's not going to be our headliner. Maybe it shows up as a surprise, but that's not their headliner. That's not, hey, come to Gamescom, we're going to show Crackdown 3. This destruction that we've been talking about, because you know, everybody says we figured out streaming. We figured out the cloud. But Crackdown 3, there's evidence of the cloud, right? Has it been shown? No. So let's go. Let's see. Oh, State of Decay 2 Daybreak Pack. Yep, we got to get DLC for State of Decay 2. Game of the year, right? And, oh, shit. You know what? My God. You know what? I'm not grinding my gears anymore. I am a satisfied customer. right here. Fucking, that's it. I'm a pig in shit. There we go. That's exactly what I wanted to see at Gamescom. Holy shit, Microsoft. You heard me. Phil Spencer, you're out there. You heard me. This is what I wanted at Gamescom. You're back. They're coming back. PlayStation's dead. There it is. This news is going to blow the roof off of Gamescom. PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. A new mode for the Xbox One. Playable for the first time at Gamescom. Holy shit. Good luck getting into that event. My God. I can't. Fuck. Wrap it up. It's a wrap. There it is, everybody. That is the headline for Gamescom. Get your white gloves out. Get Major Nelson's goofy-ass show. Get Aaron Greenberg. X is going to give it to you in the ass and in the mouth. And here we go. PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. There it is. That's the news that's going to break E3 at the big Gamescom. So wait a second. But I want to look up one more thing. Major Nelson inside Xbox for Gamescom. It has to be there. Gamescom. Oh shit! Here it is. Here it is. No, I want the Xbox Wire. I don't want no bullshit fake news interpretation of it. I want the source. I want the source. There it is. Oh my God. I'm not even going to read it. I am going to hit my Control F. Fuck. Crackdown is already there waiting for me. Oh my goodness. Now let's see. All right. You guys ready? Holy shit. For those not watching and listening, it's another 0 out of 0. And let's see what. Holy shit. And there we go. They are going. Their Gamescom content will include Forza Horizon 4, Sea of Thieves, State of Decay 2. Sea of Thieves. Why does this game haunt me? I know what the DLC of the cursed sales is. It's my curse. It's the curse that this game won't fucking go away. It is like somebody trying to sell you a shit burger, and you told them it's shit, and they still try to feed you it. The Kraken is still out for performance issues. He's on fucking summer vacation, everybody. The Kraken's arms are tired. He said, fuck this, and they put him on vacation. The Kraken is lacking, and he is sent packing. That was one of the lines from somebody last week said that. But he's on fucking vacation. The Kraken is on vacation this summer. This fucking Sea of Thieves, my God. It definitely is a tale. Like, I know people like it. Wear your fucking pirate hats. Go sit down with your pirate ship. But come on. Is it getting re-reviewed with all this content? And the content is just fucking... It is skeletons on a boat. We're on a boat now. And it's a jumbo shark. And my 5 sea dicks all went away for vacation. Performance issues. They put so much fucking content in the game, they broke the Kraken. But anyway, Crackdown is not here. It's not here on this page. But a good fellow media of the accurate reporting of the media, a wonderful, reliable news source, IGN, otherwise known as Copy and Paste, says this on August 2nd, 2018. Crackdown is pretty much done. They are using the 2019 delay to polish it. Please. And Sumo Digital says it's working to make it better than Crackdown 2, which, fuck, just take out the zombies and it's already better than Crackdown 2. You should be making it better than Crackdown 1 because that game was better than 2. 2 fucking sucked. All right, so if your bar is Crackdown 2, you're already fucking lost. Because Crackdown 1 was better than Crackdown 2. So those motherfuckers got the wrong measuring stick out. Anyway, well, I just want to hear their wonderful quote that the bullshit is just going to come off my screen. I'm going to start smelling the bullshit. The aroma is just going to come into my room here. Let me see. The bullshit's starting to. Oh, well, here it's coming. I think I smell it. Let's see here. I think I smell this bullshit coming. Where the fuck is the quote? Where's your copy and paste, IGN? Where is it? Who copied this one? Where does he say polishing? Oh, here it is. It's a bit of a... Okay, I'm sorry, but as you know, the release date moved back. Confirmed as February next year. And that's great news because it gives us time to polish a turd. Oh, I mean, polish a game that pretty much is done. Guys, it's fucking done. Crackdown is done. But Microsoft has such a fucking huge lineup this holiday. There's too much stuff. He has to push it out. There's too much. Microsoft is firing on all cylinders. There's so much stuff coming out of Microsoft this holiday. There's no room for Crackdown, but it's done. It's done. And whoa, wait a second. Whoa. Wait, before I go on that thing, I played the first one to death. I played it in co-op, collected. After a couple of hours of Crackdown 2, I wanted to throw my controller at the TV. And that's definitely not the route Crackdown 3 has been taken. Oh my God. Crackdown 3. This is what this and I'm gonna stop sharing right now because I might have to find some more good stuff. But I'm sure that my there we go. Let's get back the fuck over here. Let's show all this shit here. Oh man, chat's been fucking lit. Sorry guys. Let's go back to my C-Dicks. Anyway, so I'm gonna catch up with the chat stuff. But Crackdown 3 is done, guys. It's fucking done. We're done. What's up, Danny? In Life and Time, OBJ, Andrew, what's up? It's done, man. We're just sitting here and playing the waiting game. It's done. It's sitting up in that cloud. You know what Crackdown is? It's that big black rain cloud. And it's just sitting up there because there's so much power in the black cloud. And it's going to run, and it's going to come over us, and it's going to shower us with glory in February. Crackdown 3 was done August 2nd. It was done August. Don't you think wait a sec. Don't you think that we should be seeing it at Gamescom? August 2nd, he's like, we're done. We're just polishing it. It's fucking polished. So why do I hear people psyched up that Microsoft might announce that they purchased Obsidian Studios as a Gamescom announcement? And now one person that I think I've seen very few people, I don't think I've seen anybody even say, I can't wait. Hopefully we see more Crackdown, considering all we see was Terry Crews yelling his ass off in some bullshit little skit with no multiplayer, no campaign mission, no guided demo, no hands-on gameplay from anybody there. And now it's Gamescom, and Crackdown 3 is not on any of the Xbox Wire as something that they're highlighting. Are you telling me it's going to be a surprise? The one fucking game you got coming out in the next 8 months, that's a surprise? That should be the fucking headline of Gamescom because it's the only last damn fucking show you got before the game releases in February. Hell, Days Gone had fucking crazy-ass coverage in Game Informer before E3, and that game comes out supposedly the same day as Crackdown. And people haven't got to fucking play Crackdown, except the dopey bastards from fucking Comic-Con last year that chased it back into the fucking hole that it's in. But they're polishing it up, guys. They're giving it that fucking shine. You know what I think that polish is? How the fuck can we make this game as a service? I think that's the fucking polish. But that is the next big game. Why is the Xbox talk not about fucking games? Why? Why is it about, I hear about a streaming fucking console that they figured it out 2 years from now? Why is it about a more powerful console than the $500 fucking thing they got on shelves they're trying to sell you right now, rather than where are my fucking games? You sit there and you have the balls to tell me that Crackdown is done and it's just polish until February 2019, and you are going to go into the holiday with a fucking $150 Elite controller that somebody's supposed to give a shit about. Because you are so stacked with games. And you think Aaron Greenberg fucking tweets from September to December, oh, can't wait to play this on the X. And Mike Ybarra tweets, can't wait to play this on the X, is going to promote and sell that $500 console? Oh, and Avengers. You're right, OBJ. And Blu-ray movies, 4K Blu-ray movie Avengers. Like, that's the shit that we see getting tweeted out there. And Aaron Greenberg can't wait to play this on the X. So every multiplat that comes out, in addition to the content that Sony has coming, and that's the thing is that not even looking at this holiday, you got fucking Spider-Man. Shit's all over fucking trains and shit. Spider-Man. And then they got in their pockets the Ghost of Tsushima. They have the what is it? Death Stranding. They got Last of Us 2. Like, just of you what you know about. Like, and then they still have Dreams, which I'm interested in because I always like people creating shit and I got to play that stuff. Like, I think that thing's gonna be really cool. Dreams, I'm pissed off that it was supposed to come out this spring per the PlayStation conference, but I guess they fucking delayed that shit. But that's Media Molecules next game. Like, Media Molecules next game. I really want, like, that's just what you know about. Right? Plus, on top of that, they got the Call of Duty deal. They got the Red Dead, and they got content. It's not no fucking let me slap my logo on the screen and call it a day, and let's all shake hands and go get fucking lunch. No, Sony gets out there, and for little content it is, it's that little bit of an edge that they get they get the shit first, or they get shit exclusive. So whatever Red Dead content they're getting, if you're going to pay $60 for the fucking game and you got 2 consoles, why are you going to pay $60 and get that little bit extra content and you're going to buy the PlayStation version over the Xbox version there? Right? So there you go. And Savage just has it too. Exactly. Oh, you know, you got Kiwami 2, which they're saying is the best one, which I like. Yakuza Kiwami 2. Dragon Quest was exclusive coming out in September. And I don't know what Left Alive is, but you got this stuff. So the thing is that you got these other games. It's not even just the blockbusters that you know about. And with Xbox, you got Forza Horizon 4, which it looks good. It's going to be a good racing game, but I do think it's going to be fatigue because Horizon 3 was a surprise because 2 was all right. Forza Horizon 3 was the pinnacle because it expanded on the game. It was the first on the next generation, and it was like really cool, and it looked really well. It was in Australia, great. I think the problem they got with Forza Horizon 4 is trying to sell the same thing in a different environment. The same problems that Assassin's Creed wound up having. And the same problem I think Tomb Raider has. You got the same shell, the same core, but you're just putting it in a different environment. You're not flipping it on a script. You're not injecting a bunch of content. Like, I think that Hot Wheels stuff was really cool, and they should have did more of that and expanded onto that in Forza Horizon 4 up front. Not DLC, up front. Like, yo, we got... And also, since it was a big fan favorite of DLC in Forza Horizon 3, in Forza Horizon 4, we got a whole Hot Wheels island. Bigger and better with more Hot Wheels cars that you can race. Blow it up. Blow it up. Why are you just taking Forza Horizon 4? It's like, yep, what you loved about 3... Now it's online like Destiny style. Oh, and there's little missions that you can get when you buy a little house, and you can do a little mission here and there, some pizza delivery, some crazy taxi missions, and we have seasons. Yay. Like, people love the DLC for Forza Horizon 3. They loved that Hot Wheels thing. That was so cool. Why wouldn't you incorporate that day one in Forza Horizon 4? Are you going to come out with more DLC? Like, why wouldn't you just expand on that? Make it bigger, better, more cars. Put all crazy, put another, like, we got 25 exclusive Hot Wheel branded cars. We got Team Hot Wheels in the game. You know, take that license and do something with it. It was so successful for 3. Like, this is what I mean, where Microsoft is just so fucking cheap, just so fucking dumb, so fucking lame. They're not exciting. They try to take a fucking plain old cardboard box and try to tell you you should be excited about it. They try to give you the same old fucking controller painted different colors and expect you to be excited about it. They give you the same old bullshit. They're still trying to fix their fucking dashboard, and you're supposed to be. They took out the fucking TV tab on the dashboard and put Games Pass tab, and you're supposed to be excited about it. Still, the community tab is a piece of shit. It's just wall of fucking screenshots. Like, what are they doing? Why are you not going bigger and better? You got the power, right? You got the devs. Make it better. Oh, yeah. Savage Yoga says about Concrete Genie. Concrete Genie looks freaking cool as hell, too. That's another Sony game. They're just so cool. Like, and that's the thing I always say is a difference. It's like Sony, after playing their games, I realize their games are art. Their games, they make a game to tell a story for art. Microsoft makes a game to make money, to make it's business driven. Now they're telling a story, but I think Sony emphasizes more story and atmosphere in their games than Microsoft does. Microsoft tends to try to monetize and add features and services to a game to tie it in to monetize that game to its maximum. With Sony, I say, will take the hit. They'll take a game that doesn't have maybe mass market appeal. They'll put it out there and it'll get a cult following. And then maybe the second one will be bigger. Microsoft won't take that risk. Microsoft, look what they did. Quantum Break was a risk. They fucking trashed it. Record 2, if Record 2 comes out, Record 1 was trash. If nobody likes it, Microsoft's like, yup, cut our losses, and get rid of it. Sony will push forward and possibly make that game come to fruition and might get a cult following on it. Sony will take those risks. They'll put a game like, like David Cage's craziness shit, and then it'll hit a nerve. You'll get a fan, and then boom, here comes a game that comes out, and it hits a nerve. And with the what is it, the Detroit Become Human, like it was actually the biggest one. Like eventually you'll hit it and you'll do it, like and they took a risk with God of War, taking a game that traditionally was an action shoot and trying to make it much more strategic and much more kind of a little bit of a Dark Souls vibe to it, but still trying to keep that action. But it wasn't as crazy as what it was in the previous God of War. They took a risk, and Microsoft is just like, take that risk, do that stuff, show those things to us, like make it exciting, make gaming fun. Don't make it a fucking Major Nelson white glove jerk off service. Just make a fucking good game so gamers on Xbox could talk about games instead of talking about controllers, instead of talking about next generation streaming boxes, instead of get the fuck, come on. Yeah, Yakuza, you're right. Yakuza, that recent thing when they said no and Sony said yes with Yakuza, and now it's on 6. They've remastered it. They're bringing it to the States. And it's just another. No Man's Sky was another one. No Man's Sky, they put it out there. Sony put their money behind it. That game was shit at first, and now it expanded. And now people playing it on Xbox go, it's not a bad game. Yeah, well, they added a bunch of stuff to it, but Sony identified that game. Same thing with Hellblade. Like Sony got that game on their console. Well, who was the Microsoft guy shopping around saying, hey, that Hellblade looks really awesome, I want it? No, Microsoft's like, nah. But meanwhile, that shit comes out, and then Microsoft goes, we're going to buy you. Microsoft bought those studios because they were losing. People thought they were leaving the business. People thought that Microsoft was exiting game. Microsoft bought that not to reassure that Xbox is still around. It's to establish their place in the gaming market. See, when I see a lot of, and this is kind of like where we're going to the X1X, but whatever. The problem that I'm going to say, like the thing is that really gets me about the thing is that Microsoft, like I said this before, they bought these studios to stay relevant into gaming, not to make Xbox the dominant console. because these games are for everyone. These games that they're developing are for everyone. Like I said, Miami Streets, Gears Tactics, Age of Empires, they are making games for every type of game, for all gamers, no matter where they play. Phil says it all the time, no matter where they play. But if you're sitting here with a console on your lap going like, oh, this is going to make a comeback, or next generation, they got it. With what they're saying, I'm not going to say it's not going to happen, but I cannot sit here and give you the vow of confidence that they are going to bring that console back to where it was with the 360. Similar, because people want to talk about Cinderella stories, similar like how Sony was in the beginning of the PlayStation 3 and how they came back with the PlayStation 4. See, Sony was making moves late in that generation for the PlayStation 4. They invested into games and unique games and games that made their system relevant, and so the sequels will be wanted in the next generation. They made that Last of Us because Last of Us 2 now is going to go crazy. Microsoft is not doing that now. Microsoft is just sitting around polishing up Crackdown 3 and not making unique games that people are going to want sequels when the Scarlet comes out. They're in a dud right now. Like, who's going to sit here 4 years from now and go, oh, man, I can't wait to play those backwards compatible Xbox One exclusive games? What? Gears and Halo? And Forza Horizon. Wrap it up. There's your generation. That's all they got to show for this entire generation. They should be making those games now, but they're not. They're in a rut. So they should have been doing timed exclusives now to at least keep their console relevant and not fade in existence. Because if Microsoft releases another piece of hardware, people are just going to be like, oh, yeah, well, they could keep doing, just like Android. Android kept pumping out fucking tablets left and right. And people just got totally just like enough with the hardware, like enough. You don't have apps that utilize the tablet. Android. So Android stopped making tablets. Samsung still does them because they basically make the screens, but Android just said any fucking person make a tablet. I don't care. But Android never utilized apps for those tablets. So the market got flooded with all these 7-inch and 10-inch tablets but Android was never making the software and requiring devs to make it. They were trying to do the scalability. Like Microsoft. Oh, it's a tablet. Oh, it's a console. Oh, it's a PC. They're trying to make one app to fit them all, and it doesn't work like that. Just look at the success of the iPad. That's why it's the only one standing, because the fucking iPad has things made for that. Apple requires it. You got to have it on this size and this thing, and this is what you make it. They kept their PC separate from their fucking iPad. These hybrid things don't exist because there's no, it's a good in a pinch, but it's not something that's going to drive a platform. And Microsoft trying to say, well, it's a console game and it's also a PC game. That doesn't jive. They're two different audiences, and they should have two different unique experiences. And that's where Microsoft is thinking they're not going to get this dominance when they're not focusing on the things that they're trying to sell. And if they're selling a hardware, a console, they should be making things specifically for that console. Because you become a jack of all trades, master of none. And we will see where they go from there. And you're seeing it with the X. And that's my transition from the Gamescom stuff to the X. Like, I see the list of 4K and this whole thing with Red Dead Redemption. And Red Dead Redemption is not native 4K. It's checkerboard and it's all this other stuff. Let's call a spade here. And you're going to hear it here first. And I shout out to the 10 guys. They had 11, the guys watching right now and the guys and girls watching. But I'm going to tell you right now, they call a spade, right? The Xbox One X is more powerful than the PlayStation 4 Pro. Okay? It is also at least $100 more than the PlayStation 4 Pro. It's $500 with the Pro is $400. Sometimes Pro drops to $350, Xbox stays at $500. It is also about $200 more than the Xbox One S. It also is $200 more than your PlayStation 4 Slim. Okay? However, it is less than a computer, a gaming computer that probably has similar power to it. It is less than that. The Xbox One X utilizes similar techniques the PlayStation 4 to achieve 4K. It all depends on the devs and what the devs want to do. But you cannot lie and say that the Xbox One X, because this is what was sold to us when it was called Project Scorpio. It was sold that this thing is just going to flat out do native 4K, no compromises, no questions asked, flat out 4K, a true 4K console, not a 4K simulated or 4K checkerboarding. But Microsoft came out there and said it was a true 4K console. It was going to just flat out just do 4K. And then Sony came out with the Pro and was like, well, we have checkerboarding and we're going to checkerboard the 4K. And Microsoft's like, true 4K. Well, when it changed its name to the Xbox One X, true 4K found the definition of native, dynamic, and checkerboard techniques to achieve a 4K buffer. If it hit 4K, then they call it 4K. All right? The biggest thing is that it is more powerful. It does 4K better than the Pro does 4K. Now, whether it's different enough to warrant the more money, that really hasn't really showed its ugly head, because if it was a distinct increase and 4K native or 4K, whatever better 4K the X does over Sony, there would be some sort of bump in the sales. There would be some sort of number 2 maybe in Xbox One X NPDs or Xbox One NPDs. Considered it's done by revenue, the thing is that the Xbox is $500 more, so it has to sell less to go higher than the other two competitors. But we haven't seen that bump, and we're in August right now. That thing came out last November and has yet to even show a bump in NPDs. It didn't even win in the month that it came out, when nobody was buying the S last summer, and everybody was waiting and pre-ordered for the X. It should have seen number 1 sales. It didn't in November, not even in December. It has never hit 1. Now, say it's a failure, say what it is. The thing is that the X is more powerful. But the question you need to ask, is that power worth it? And if it is, then it is Microsoft's job to show it. Not Ubisoft, not EA, not Rockstar, not... You get all my point. Not third party. It is up for Microsoft to show the power of their system and show the scalability of the X over the S and show how the system works, where I put a game on this one, it scales to the power of the X, it scales to the S. It is up to them, because they fucking made the bed. They should sleep in the fucking bed. You make the console, you sell the console. You prove the power of the console. Don't sit there with your hands in your pants going, well, Ubisoft made it a little digital. Ubisoft made it a little bit better. We're going to go somewhere. We're going to go. I want to, because you don't want to hear it from my mouth, right? I don't hear it from fucking my mouth. Let's hear it from the experts. The experts. Now, people will say, well, this is just one game, because I saw some chart come up and I saw this whole, hold on here. We're just going to hear it. I saw this whole the Pro with 4K and this with 4K, and my boy Frogs was fucking getting in an argument because if it hits 4K, just 1%, then they could declare it a native 4K game. You know what? Who gives a flying fuck? Please. Please. We sat here with 900p blurry ass shit. And everybody was like, it's all good. It's only 100. Where are my 100p's? And now all of a sudden, these guys, like, you buy an X, you grow a dick? And now we start running around talking 4K because we're spec junkies? Come on. Now you're just following the narrative. Like, it's just, that doesn't happen. Like, you don't, like 900p, like, I didn't give a shit. I didn't care. It didn't matter to me because it didn't matter. Because I had good games and Microsoft looked like they gave a shit back then. But all of a sudden, now they just give you hardware. But their software, Microsoft software, is not even demoing the power. All they're doing is fixing all the fucking old games that were all made for an underpowered system and patching them. And make them run better. Like Master Chief Collection, Halo 5. Making those games run at whatever dynamic 4K, whatever they can do. Without making new content, without making new things. I saw that list. On that list was about 25 games from the original Xbox. I have a question. I know something about computers, but my question is how the fuck do we talk 4K? How a game is 4K? It's from the original Xbox. Like, all they did was pump up the resolution. Like, the game wasn't remastered or anything like that. They ran it through an emulator, and it basically just, it's like if you take your computer screen and say increase resolution. The text gets smaller, and then you call it a day. And nonetheless, it's a 4x3 game. They didn't even remaster those games and put them in 16:9. So are you telling me that my 4K, when I go play an Xbox original game in 4K, I got a 4K screen, but wait, is like what? The sidebars 4K? I'm getting all black pixels? Am I that high density black pixels on the side of my screen? Like the TV is displaying the snippet of the 4:3, right? Like I don't like. Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck cares? But don't put Xbox original games that ran through an emulator as a fucking 4K. Because that reminds me of the days when Microsoft actually had fucking games to make in 4K. But I want to do this little snippet. What the fuck is this sound? Where is this shit? There we go. Put this thing up here. Let's see what Digital Foundry, our friends over at Digital Foundry, have to say. Because I saw this game on a list somewhere. So this game on a list.
I mean, essentially the piece
there you go. This sounds smart. Yeah, I saw this game on a list, and they're like native 4K, and then I was like, oh, let me go watch this video from 2017, November 3. You know, when it was all the rage about the power. Let's hear what they got to say.
That kind of thing. So all of the enhancements to the hardware spec.
This is a comparison between the PC, the Xbox One X, and the PlayStation 4 Pro of FIFA 2018. Let's hear what they got to say.
One has. So we've got more bandwidth, ton more compute, 4 gigs of GDDR5 extra that the Pro doesn't have. It all kind of counts for nothing here.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much that's been used. From what I can tell, the only...
Let's hear that again. I don't know if I can hear that.
Counts for nothing. Xbox
counts for nothing. So let's see. The Xbox One has all this overhead.
All of the enhancements to the hardware spec that Xbox One has. So we've got more bandwidth, ton more compute, 4 gigs of GDDR5 extra that the Pro doesn't have. It all kind of counts for nothing here.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much that's been used. From what I can tell, the only sort of upgrade on Xbox One X, if you can call it that, is a slight increase in the grass draw distance. So that element is actually a little bit better than even on the PC. But on the other hand, you know, image quality is not quite as good as PC, and there's a lot of GPU power left on the table that they could be implementing.
Yeah. All right. So that's. But when that comes out, right? When we talk about that, blame the devs. It's up to the devs. So wait a second. Now we change. It was 4K. Oh, it's better than the Pro. But when it's not utilized, blame the devs. Now, so EA, blame them. They left all that power on the table. I'm going to give you a couple of Jez predictions or just Jez statements on that. That is why, number one, you make your bed, you sleep in your bed. Microsoft has to show the power of the X. Don't depend on other people to sell your platform. They just give a shit about selling their games. So that's one strike against you, that you have no fucking games to demo this power, and you're leaving this Xbox One X sitting on the shelves, collecting dust, slapping on a piece of shit PUBG sticker on it, and expecting some fucking idiot that's going to buy it. And they're not. That's why you're not winning in your sales, or you even mean fucking anything in your sales. So that's strike one. Strike two, the devs are going to do what they're going to do. And the development on a console that's not selling is not worth the time and money for a development studio to maximize the power of said console. And then, that's going to be my step three. So if your console's not selling out there and a dev looks and sees the penetration of another console, they're not going to spend money and time to enhance the version to make it look best on yours when you're the number three of the fucking, you're number three in a 3-man race. Guys, what about those X enhancements? What, you mean for the fucking 5 million people that might buy this console? We got 80 million over there on the competition. Nonetheless, it dominates globally, worldwide. Why are we even going to fucking waste our time for maybe 5 million people to be happy, to justify that $500 purchase? So for a development studio, it's time and money. And if your console's not out there and the product is not on the shelf, the dev is not going to put the power in it. That's why you got to do it. Goes back to my point one. The final point is, you got Kumbaya out there going, we care about the customer. We don't care about where you play. We care about where you go and what you do. And all, we want to be on your phone and on your PC. Put down that controller, pick up that keyboard and mouse, pick up that phone and play our games. So you got him talking about, I don't give a shit where you play. But then you got the same people complaining, well, they're not utilizing the power of the X. No shit. Because if they don't care, the devs don't care. Microsoft is not pricing that game aggressively, that system aggressively. They're not trying to catch up to PlayStation. You got to get the market penetration to get the game developers' interest. And EA is fucking lazy to begin with, so probably EA is a bad example. But they're not going to utilize the power. You got to do it. The same thing with Play Anywhere. They are trying to lead by example. The problem is Microsoft doesn't have enough games to show how this Play Anywhere, how effective it is. They're just trying to use their games so they have numbers to present to devs going, hey, look, this works. Have you seen any Play Anywhere titles lately besides We Happy Few? Like, Microsoft really hasn't taken third party and utilized that. Like, is Red Dead Redemption going to be Play Anywhere? Well, no, never mind Red Dead Redemption. Call of Duty, Battlefield, Assassin's Creed. Is this year going to be it? Just Call, like, are those games going to be playing with? No, nobody's using the program. They didn't even talk about it at E3. So you got to do it, okay? And people got to demand Microsoft do it. So when you say Microsoft has no games, they have games, all right? You got a backlog, 400 games, 500 games. They got sales. They have games. It is not a non-gaming console. But when you say there's no games, Microsoft needs to put their money where their mouth is, and they need to make games. And yes, they bought studios, but guys, they also bought Rare, and we've seen what they turned into. They've also bought Skype. You've seen what that turned into. Like, just because Microsoft owns it doesn't mean that it's guaranteed success. They bought Nokia. See how that turned out. So they bought studios. Remember, they also shut down fucking 4 studios too. Okay? They shut down Lionhead. They got rid of Press Play. They got rid of the guys that made Project Spark, Team Dakota. They got rid of studios. So now they're technically replacing those studios. And the studios that they bought, 2 of them were already making games for them. All right? They're already making games. Playground and Undead Labs were already making games for them. So, and then they bought a bunch of AA indie studios. Compulsion with their second game, Hellblade. They made a few games. Like they were smaller studios. So, and then the big one is the one they're building, which that one's interesting, but we don't know what any of them are making. So just because they buy them and just because they buy things doesn't guarantee that that's going to be a blockbuster game. And if you look at their track record, Microsoft is not releasing blockbuster games. Besides Gears being okay and Gears and Halo kind of okay and not really hitting the high note that they used to hit. And then you look, Forza Horizon was good. That was actually the only great game that they had of the generation that was actually on an upswing. But you look at all the other ones, Quantum Break didn't come out to great reviews. Sunset came out to decent reviews. That came out, I think, 80s and stuff like that. But like Quantum Break didn't come out. Record didn't come out to good reviews. Sea of Thieves, State of Decay 2, and Crackdown just seems to be in a development disaster. So anything else besides Halo, Gears, and Forza are not quality from them. And those are their studios. Rare is their big studio, and they ship Sea of Thieves. As broken as it is right now with the Kraken. Yeah, you know what, Tiger King? The more financial backing, and how much financial backing did Rare have? Okay. They had enough financial backing for promotions, right? They shot the guy out of the cannon. They did the submarine. Did that make the game any better? This financial backing, Rare had all the financial backing from Microsoft. And look what we got out of it. That wasn't an indie studio that they purchased. That was Rare. Quantum Break had all the financial backing. Microsoft, they put actors in that game. They put legit actors and scanned them. Right? There's the money of Microsoft. They put actors in them. Crackdown 3, the money of Microsoft. They put in Terry Crews. Does that make the game like much better? Like, does that mean we're gonna see it at Gamescom with amazing gameplay? Just because you throw money at something doesn't mean that it's gonna be quality. It could just be that you're throwing money at it just to shut people up. And meanwhile, the product that you sell sucks. Yeah, Rare got money to hire 100 more people after they launched the fucking game. What about making the game? I heard that they didn't even have confidence in the game. So I don't they gave them money. What, to put the skeletons on a ship? They needed more money, 100 more devs to put skeletons on the ship. That DLC we're talking about, that amazing, and also to hit enlarge on a shark. Just because you got financial backing doesn't mean they're going to come out with quality products. It's good for indie studios, but it also could be corrupt. It also could mess them up. They say they have independence. They make what they want. But now when Microsoft's throwing money at you, you might have to make it for Windows 10 and Xbox. Undead Labs worked on that game for 5 years. They were still an indie studio. And now they'll probably make the game that they want to make. But what's amazing is that the Undead Labs financial backing doesn't mean the game. Undead Labs, that game came out with the same fucking bugs and jank that people thought were going to be eliminated that the first one had. And Microsoft was behind it. But Microsoft also forced them to put it on PC and Xbox on day one. That's what more money means. Microsoft might give money to Hellblade and go, well, guess what? You Ninja Theory, you got to make it for the streaming service. You got to make it this. You got to do this. But Sea of Thieves had nothing. Like, Sea of Thieves was an empty shell, and then they added content as you go. But look at the content that they're adding. Is that something that's bringing people back in droves? They're adding stuff that should have been in the game from the beginning. And I can tell you right now, the thing is that nobody's going back and re-reviewing that game. It's still sitting there at a 68. So it was an empty shell that got penalized for shipping the way it did. I don't give a shit if that was the model or not. Fortnite was a fucking beta bullshit that had nothing. They just threw in a mode. But State of K2, whatever. State of K2 was not on dedicated servers. It cost money. Yeah. And what happened to State of K3 is not on servers? What is your excuse then? Do you know State of K3 is going to run on dedicated servers? You're assuming that because Microsoft's behind it because they own the studio. They're going to say, now you use the cloud. You're assuming that. You don't know that. And State of K2, Microsoft. Yeah, you're right. Exactly. OBJ. Financial backing does nothing for lack of talent or management of studios. Look how much money EA has and how much money they throw into how much money they throw into all their bullshit. They have so much money. Or Activision. Look how much revision we had in a Call of Duty. They got all the money in the world. They got all the money from World of Warcraft. They got all that money. They got financial backing from Activision. Look at Destiny. Is Destiny the most amazing game? No, they're still trying to fucking fix the game with all these DLC quirks and all this other bullshit. The Forsaken now. Well, that's another game. It's an expansion. Were you already done with your season pass? Financial backing means nothing. I'm going to say now, it doesn't mean nothing. It means something, but it does not mean that you're going to get the best. You're going to get the best quality out of there. It doesn't mean that. Now, they were always a studio. It's just now Microsoft owns them, which probably means that Microsoft's just going to help publish the game. Like, Microsoft was a publisher. Like, the thing is, like, State of K2, they said, wait a second, they said AAA all the way, right? Was that a AAA game? They said AAA all the way. When they came out and that game was jank, in their interview that they did on Planet Xbox, they're like, well, we're an indie studio. Well, okay, but you said your game was AAA, and now you're going back and saying I'm an indie studio. And now I guess they're not an indie studio anymore. So State of K3, 5 years from now, might use dedicated servers, might be the open world game that everybody wanted it to be. We'll see in 5 years. Like, Microsoft threw money at studios. They bought up some studios. They're building a studio. Good for them. But that does nothing right now to save them or make them relevant next generation because we do not know the games, nor the quality, nor the type of game they're coming out with. Microsoft has given you that. What reason? Microsoft gives you that technology. Shannon Loftus used to visit State of K2 people. They had a resource there. She would walk in and go around. We asked them. Shannon Loftus walked around. That's a good resource, right? She's Microsoft Studios. But what resources and technology? What, they don't have to pay for it? Microsoft's offering their Azure clouds to everybody. They said they didn't have the time or money. Who the hell knows? What is this stuff? Remember that not a huge studio. Look at 343. They're hiring another studio to work. Yo, man, I'm a gamer. I'm not HR. I don't browse LinkedIn on my good days. I don't give a shit who they're hiring. I don't give a shit who they're buying. I want to see the product. When you go to a restaurant, do you tell the chef, where were these purchased from? Do you want to see the boxes that the tomatoes shipped in? Are they shipping from you? Do you want to know about all these ingredients? Do you want to know how long the chef has been cooking before you eat that meal? When you go to a restaurant, do you ask, is it the master chef? Is it another chef? Who is the person that's cooking my meal? Are these ingredients brought from the best places? Is that what you ask? Or do you say, wow, this meal is delicious? Or do you care about all that other stuff? As a gamer, we should care about the output that the studios and Microsoft are putting out. And the output that Microsoft has been putting out has been utter shit. So just because now they got the dev studios or the quote unquote ingredients doesn't mean that we are good as gold. Let's now sail off into the sunset. Microsoft is fixed. And that's where I see the frustration. It's like, what have they done for you lately that you could sit here and go, let's sail into the sunset on a Sea of Thieves ship and go, Microsoft has fixed everything by buying those studios, and they're not done. Let them buy some more. You know, Microsoft is a big company. They got a lot of money, you know? And they like to throw that money around. Let's be relevant in the phone space. Apple and Google are killing us. You know what? Let's go buy fucking Nokia. They go buy Nokia. They're throwing the money at Nokia. Buy them. They bought them. And what did that do? They got some good phones, but it didn't make them relevant in the phone space because they could not capitalize on the apps. And they got the financial backing of Microsoft. Microsoft bought Skype. We bought Skype. They tried to shove it in our face at the beginning of this generation. Just because they bought something and they threw their Microsoft money behind it, yes, it's a good resource for the devs. I agree. Good job. They had to do what they had to do. Like Ninja Theory, I don't want them to go out of business. I am glad that they're able to use the money and build a new studio and expand. Whether a good game comes out of that, we don't know. And what type of game comes out of that? And I always say it on the show. What happens if the Ninja Theory goes, we really want to make a top-down shooter? Everybody's thinking they might come out with this amazing Hellblade-esque game. Again, maybe they don't want to do that. Maybe they want to make a different game. Maybe they want to make some sort of side scroller or something like that. Do you think that everybody's going to be hyped for it? Like, I'm sure if it looks cool, but I don't think that's what everybody's thinking. Like, I think everybody's sitting there looking at Ninja Theory and going, oh my God, we're going to get our Uncharted. We're going to get our Uncharted. Yeah, man. But Microsoft has come out with those games, and its game's not good until I played it. Yeah, of course, I agree. But look at the reviews of those games that come out. It is unanimous that the games that came out of Microsoft Studios have not been that great. And the problem is that it's not necessarily user opinion. It's not necessarily like, yo, this guy likes RPGs. No wonder he hates this game. He gave it a 6. No, it is like unanimous that this game has no content. What were the devs thinking when they put this game out? This game has nothing to do. And then the next one comes out, State of Decay. It is a buggy mess. What were they shipped this game? There are glitches galore. 68. You know, these are development issues. These are dev decisions. These are publisher decisions. Like, these are things that are inherently damaged in the development cycle. These are not somebody, oh, we got some dumbass reviewer who copies a shit, you know, shout out to IGN, and basically going like, yo, man, like, I don't like these fucking racing games, but you know what? I like RPGs, but I'm going to give this Xbox game some 5 because I don't like that genre. No. And you're right, Mark Woodland. You're right. Maybe they could make games to do Game Pass, and Game Pass is a curveball. Game Pass, and you know, I see it too. It's like people are like, what are you buying this holiday? We did it last night on Planet Xbox, and we weren't like, yo, nobody said Forza. You know, you were joking with Smooth because it's like, oh, well, Game Pass, you know, you get it. And Game Pass does change a lot of things. And I know games have bugs, but the thing is that they had so many bugs that it actually hurt their review score. Like, That's the thing. Every game has bugs. Every game cannot be tested to the ultimate, testing environment when you release it to millions, of course. But this game had actual issues with it that brought it down in the ratings. Like, it wasn't just basically that, it had some glitches, because I even seen it with We Happy Few. Like, that's another game that whatever is inherent in the game design, it has a good story. Now, I didn't play it, so I'm not going to say it's bad or good, but you look at the kind of the theme of the reviews, and it's like, it's a good story, but basically it doesn't have a gameplay is broke, or there's some fundamental things broken with it. And granted, it could be that they were rushed. It could be that it wasn't their vision. They didn't get the support from the publisher. Microsoft had to do that, man. Microsoft had to buy those studios. They had to get them. And I think another reason why they had to get it is because they got to use... No. I know games cost money. But the thing is that they had to buy these studios because I don't think they were getting the mind share, like I said before, from the developments to utilize their systems, their clouds, their stuff like that. And I think by them owning this, and I think Tiger King, you said it a lot, that they have access to these resources and to these other things. I think you have a point, because now Microsoft could make them integrated with their services and systems that they maybe chose not to do it because it would have cost them now. But whether that warrant, and that's good for the developers. That's good for those developers. Like I said, that's good for those studios. That's good for them. But whether that brings out a great game that we think that Microsoft got 5 Naughty Dogs now, or 5, even 3-4 Bungies, or 5, basically, those, they don't. Like, I don't know. And these games, maybe they got one they're building. But they had to do what they got to do. But I would have said, if they were going to buy stuff, I said that they should have done some sort of time deals, some content stuff. And the fact is that they should have done that now, so the gamer is satisfied right now, and they could try to sell the X and keep Xbox relevant and not fading out. Because I feel like they're kind of ending with just a fade out, because they don't have any exclusive content coming that makes the Xbox seem relevant in the console space. And we see it every month in MPDs, and next week we'll see it again, unless they did some sort of miracle. But it's kind of fading out. And now these studios, and the fact that some Microsoft doesn't have content right now exclusive to warrant the discussion. Like, we were talking about what games you're buying, and it's like Smash Brothers, Spider-Man. And, those are console exclusive games. And the thing is Microsoft doesn't really have anything this holiday except for Forza. So it's really going to be amazing to see how Microsoft really comes back out of the generation. Because if you look at it, if you want to use next generation, and I'm going to get into the VR stuff, but if you're going to do next generation and look at it, basically the launch of the Xbox One X is a kind of a hint as to how a next generation launch would go. So they kind of launched the system without really those type of games. Like, they were going to use Crackdown 3, but they delayed it. And they had Lucky's Tales out there. But they launched a console without kind of a lineup. Now, whether they change that with the Scarlet, or they don't just go, well, all your games now look better, they really are not going, they're really going to be in a pickle there. Now, people are assuming that all these studios will have games lined up for the next generation console. We will see. And whether those games work backwards and forwards and all that other stuff is going to be another kind of adoption of the next console. But Microsoft has to be real careful, because if they start talking crazy and going like streaming this, and you can play here on your PC with your friends on your phone, and they start confusing people, they're going to be revisiting 2013 yet again. And they're going to be confusing. And if Sony just comes out and just says, guys, we're done with the 4, and here comes 2020 is a targeted route. They never said Infinite's coming out 2020. And that's the thing. We're assuming that all these studios and these games, they only said Gears of War for next year. All we know right now is Ori next year, Gears of War time for next year, and Crackdown for next year. 2020, is it Fable? Is it Halo? Is it Forza? Whatever. Like, we will see. It's not coming out next year. I know Halo's not coming out next year, but it never confirmed this 2020 release. People hope, just like people hope that Crackdown was supposed to come out this spring, right? The first tweet of the year from Microsoft in January was like, Crackdown, Sea of Thieves, State of Decay 2 coming to Game Pass. And then you find out at E3 that Crackdown is not coming out till February. And now we find out coming to Gamescom that Crackdown's not even headlining it or even mentioned in any of Microsoft's wire shit. So Crackdown's a no-show. And yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, Mark asked the question about Halo Infinite. I just saw that quick article where Halo Infinite is Halo 6, they said. That's great. I think my interpretation, this is a sidetrack, my interpretation that Halo Infinite is Halo 6, yes. In story and timeline, it's Halo 6. But it is not going to be your traditional Halo. It is Halo 6, and maybe story-wise, it happens after Halo 5. But hear me again. Halo Infinite is not going to be your traditional Halo. It might be something like a Destiny. It might be something where it's an open world. It will feature Master Chief. That's fine. But it's not going to be your traditional campaign and your multiplayer story. It is going to be something else. And I said Halo Infinite is going to be a platform. It is going to be just like how we say Sea of Thieves is a method of distribution of content. That's what Halo Infinite's going to be. It is going to be a platform. It is going to include story. But I think if we're looking for the campaign, the epic fight from Halo 5, the culmination of that, I'm not sure if we're going to see it. And maybe they do squeeze a campaign mode in there. I have this eerie feeling that they're going to try to pull like a Titanfall or some bullshit Destiny where it's multiplayer like a Destiny, but you do single player missions maybe with 3 people. And it's kind of in this world. Yeah, like Anthem, Destiny. I think it's going to be that. Like, it's not going to be when people are like, it's Halo 6. Yes, but it's going to be a games as a service. Like, it's going to be something different. Now, whether it's good or bad, who knows? We'll see. But if it was just Halo 6, it would be named Halo 6. But with this games as a service direction and everything, it's going to be a lot bigger. Now, whether people like it, maybe traditional people that just want that story from Halo might not like it. But I just kind of get nervous, and I think Destiny style, yeah, we got a campaign. I don't think as bad as Titanfall, where, we're going to string 6 maps together and you're going to play on them. We'll say some stuff at the beginning and the end, and there's your story. I don't think it's going to be that bad. But I do think it's going to be kind of Destiny 2-ish. Like which it was not bad. Like Destiny 2-ish, it felt like Halo, like definitely. Like some of the missions with the tank and stuff. They could do it. But I'm excited for it. I'm up for Halo. And every time I talk Halo, I just get so pissed that we don't have any kind of filler in this last year and this year, or even something in the spring of next year of Halo. Like some expansion, something like that. It has to have a dedicated story. I just don't know if it's going to be the traditional structure that you have your campaign and then you have your multiplayer. I think it's going to be more of intertwined Destiny style. And it's going to be open world, and they're going to kind of add content to it and something like that. Like maybe along the lines of an MMO. Maybe they'll have 16 people in an active world and something along those lines. But I do think that it's definitely going to be along those lines the way they're going. I think Gears of War is going to be traditional. I don't think that's going to have any craziness with it. I do think the one challenge that Gears of War is going to have is that it's Gears of War 5. They better make sure that Marcus and his son are involved in it and not in an opening cutscene, and then you just do Kate running around, because people are going to say it's an expansion. This is not really the next Gears of War. So, yeah, I'm excited for the new engine. That's the thing. Microsoft needed some engines. They needed some gaming engines. And I think that's good, because look at what Sony did with the Decima engine. How everybody's like trying to, they made it, and now, they're using it for the last, for the Kojima game. basically they're using it. They made it for Horizon Zero Dawn. They're using that Decima engine and everything that they can do. And I think that's great. Microsoft should be building an engine. But at the same time, they should have gave us some content. They should have gave us something. To have people sit around and wait while your competition is out there throwing all this, these console exclusives and stuff like that. It really, it really kind of affects it because it's not that, it's not that swan song you want. You don't want it to kind of go, yeah, well, Xbox going to do so well because it's not going to want people to go running out when you announce the next console to go running out and go buy it because you're kind of having a dip right now at the end of the generation where you should be kind of increasing, coming up to your crescendo. So they should have been coming out with some sort of Halo stuff. I think Halo and Gears, and maybe Gears 5 will be that as they go into the next generation. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see with the Halo stuff. But I just, the thing is that they really, I think 343 is a little. I think Bungie did do better stuff than 343 did. Yeah, I do think that. Yeah, see, I know. Like, we don't know Halo's 2020, and I don't know. The thing is like, we're talking years from, like, we're sitting here coming into the holiday 2018. Why don't we talk Crackdown, right? That's the closest game that an Xbox gamer has right now. But we're talking 2020, 2021. Like, really? Like, and I say this all the time. Like, go back three years ago. Like, go back 3 years ago. Was Battle Royale a thing? It wasn't. Like, they had it in there, but it didn't hit mainstream. Hell, just go back a year from now. A year ago, Fortnite was what? Forza Horizon. Yeah, Forza Horizon. But I'm talking about, like, the next big... Like, Forza Horizon is coming. It's a racing game, and I already ranted about that early on. They should have did bigger than that. But, like, Gamescom's coming. We haven't seen Crackdown. That's the thing. Gamescom's coming. Crackdown is not headlining Gamescom. That's a problem. When they're going to show it? At the Game Awards? They're going to show people playing it? Like, they don't have a lot of shows unless they're going to do some special show. And Forza's coming. And I already talked about Forza, so go back and listen to that. They should have did more with that. But the thing is like, you got to be making stuff now. Like, they needed to be making stuff now that we want stuff for the next generation. And now, speaking of that, I'm just going to jump into, the PSVR going at 3 million, sold 3 million. Definitely with the install base and the size of the very small amount. But relatively, when you look at the Vive and the Oculus with the PlayStation VR, that is pretty impressive that it's doing that. And I'm just happy that they're releasing so many great games for it. Like, if you look at my channel, I have a couple of games that are incredible, like Pixel Rift and that Electrolux, like the Electro game, man, that was awesome. And it's not taking over gaming. Yeah, it's straight. I like VR. I have the Vive. I have the PlayStation 1. It is not going to replace your console or your controller. It is just another way of experiencing a game. Just like how you're like, hey, I'm going to take this mobile game. The game on the road is mobile. Like, it's just another way like that. It's like, hey, let me experience a different world or a different way of playing a game. It's not going to replace it. It's just another way of experiencing it. And I personally think that Microsoft has really shit the bed and not... Oh, no, I agree. Yeah, it makes some people sick. I get nauseous. I get, headaches sometimes and stuff like that. And that's why I said it's not going to take over the world. But it really is cool. And you could tolerate it in spurts. Like, if you play the right game and you got the right setup. I think some people just like throw it on their head and start walking around. Trust me, I've demoed it to a bunch of people and everybody interacts differently with it. Some people put it on just haphazard and just walking and running around and shit. I'm like, no, just stand still. Some people are very cautious. People are weird. People are all weird when they get new stuff. So it's different experience. But if you know how to do it, then, it basically... it will work, and it is a cool experience when it does work, and it's something that goes, oh my goodness, wow, when you do it. But I think Microsoft is a little stupid here and not actually utilizing the power, because that would have been a good little tidbit for the X, would be to try to Beat Saber, yes, and Firewall, Team Firewall. I got my aim controller here. I'm telling you, you play. What is it? The Farpoint with the you feel like you are inside Ready Player One. Like you're like, yo, this is the future. You got the aim controller and you got your VR and you're shooting things and you're moving in Farpoint. They got that coming to Team Firewall. That's going to be like a Call of Duty, like a Rainbow Six style. Oh, yes. Sign me up. I cannot wait. And Beat Saber is going to be awesome, too. These are really cool games. And I would not say dismiss it just because you don't have it, because I really think that it's just another option. Phil Spencer loves his options, right? It's just another option, and it's another way that they're getting games that are being developed on PC. Sony has that, and they're basically getting those games off of PC, and they're putting them on the PlayStation VR because there's a platform. If you don't have a platform, you don't exist. And Microsoft not jumping on to this, because I think they got nervous with Kinect. They jumped on the motion bandwagon, and they wound up getting fucked. Because they try to go all in on the motion, all in on Kinect, all in the technology, and that's not what people wanted, and they basically abandoned it. Sony took their motion stuff and repurposed it and tried to put their VR technology with it. Now, VR is not going away. So if you think that it's going away, it's not going away. It's just going to get more. It's going to get more subtle as you move on. There's going to be more kind of AR, VR interactions, and it's going to sneak. It's going to take time. But it's not dead, going out of the way. Like just like mobile gaming is never going to die. Like, it's not going away. And I think that Microsoft not trying to say, well, it's for PC and not on the console, and not really embracing VR as a platform, this is the same hubris that they experienced with the phone and what they're currently seeing right now with their Windows 10 store. You got to have the platform in order to get the devs. The devs are gold. Developers are your lifeblood. They are your gasoline for your product. You need developer mindshare. And when you are not in the conversation, you are not on the developer's mind. And the fact that Microsoft does not have any type of support on the console to kind of get developers' blood flowing, get a platform to at least get some of these games on the console space, they are now just basically just sitting there, because there are so many better options with the Oculus and the Vive that the Microsoft did not even make it. They got the HoloLens took a back seat. They got rid of that whole group. I'm just saying that whether it's good or bad, Microsoft not being part of that conversation, they're going to get screwed again. Because if VR ever kicks off and Microsoft now says, well, we're buying a VR company because we're going to stay relevant in this conversation, the ship has sailed. Just like how they bought Skype. And Skype was supposed to be this communication, how we're going to use our Xbox, how we're going to use our PC. And look, Skype died. And Discord now is taking over. And now they sit there, and now even Xbox Live on PC with party chat, all that's dead. Everybody uses Discord on PC, unless you want to talk to your Xbox Live friends. But Microsoft just lets opportunities slip through their finger. They could have embraced Skype. They could have used Skype and really did it. They mishandled it. They could have made Xbox Party Chat. They could have made Xbox app tied into Steam somehow and try to grab that Steam crowd into the chat, because they don't have a unified chat except from third party. But like they just missed that opportunity. And I feel like with the PlayStation, Sony doing the VR stuff, I do think that it as 3 million what it is, that's bigger than probably the other two competitors on PC. So when Phil Spencer sits there and goes, well, VR is really a PC thing, it's not, I don't want wireless VR and all this other stuff. Wireless VR. There are things out there for wireless VR, but it's so dependent on latency and frames. We can't even game really wirelessly and not have frame drops. Look at PlayStation Now. So to get some sort of signal getting sent to your head with like zero latency without all this wireless interference, Phil Spencer's talking a pipe dream right now, but it still doesn't not make him not want to invest in a VR headset. And saying that it belongs on the PC, meanwhile, PlayStation VR is at 3 million. That's not a PC. Yeah. He said that at last because remember, they talked about it at E3. They basically said it at E3. They go, yeah, and we're going to support high fidelity VR. And our wonderful friend Todd Howard gets on there going, we want to bring Fallout to Project Scorpio. And this is the most powerful console to do it. And then they backed out of it. And I'm not saying everyone needs to have AR, have VR. I'm not saying that everybody needs to do it. I'm just saying that I feel that Microsoft should be in the conversation. And the fact that they don't have a presence in the console space, that could have been a good little key point for the differentiation. Because even if you remember, prior to it being called the X, even Aaron Greenberg and Phil Spencer were like, well, we're not going to have exclusives on the X. And then people are like, well, what about the VR game? You're right. So the VR games will be exclusive. Those will be the only exclusive because that's requiring specific hardware. Greenberg said it when Microsoft because Microsoft just did a bait and switch to everybody. They talked out their ass about VR when they had no intention of putting VR in the thing just to try to pacify Sony's Pro and VR. As soon as that shit came out, then Microsoft backed off and said, nah, we're not doing VR. True 4K really is dynamic resolution and checkerboarding. And, the story changed after that holiday. So they were just blowing smoke at everybody's ass. But they were basically like, oh, yeah, well, the VR will be exclusive because that's going to require specific hardware. And all that talk, nothing came to fruition. So now we all sit here now talking about studios. Talk. And that's it. Talk. What if? Maybe. Maybe Crackdown comes out. Maybe they got a HoloLens 2. Maybe they got VR. Who knows? Maybe they got Scarlet. Who knows? Streaming box. I don't sit here today, less than a month away from playing exclusive games, special games, and talk what ifs and what ifs. You could sit here and go, what if you go outside and get hit by a car? What if? There's all what if scenarios. Microsoft is in the infancy right now. They're back to goo goo gaga stage of game development. And how long can you sit here and wait and have faith in them? I don't. They got to prove to me now why I should give a fuck about them. That's where they are. I believe that they were coming back. I believe that they gave a shit. Then he started talking PC, and I started playing it on the PC. Then he started talking about VR. Then he took that away. Then he said $500 for something to play all your old games again without any new games. And I'm not saying exclusive games for the X, but man, Microsoft games. And then to sit here and go, I'll wait. I refuse to buy the other systems. I'm not playing that shit on that system. More power to you then. You are a loyalist. Like, you enjoy. But you are missing out on games, man. And you're missing out on, and they're just giving you a promise. It is a gentleman's agreement that you're just going to sit there and believe in Xbox while they just jerk you around. And that's where I'm kind of like, Sony was a lot of smoke and mirrors in the beginning. They didn't have the games. What games are coming? Tiger King, please. More are coming. What games are coming? Please tell me. And new games came. So Sea of Thieves, State of Decay, right? That's what you're talking about? Those games? Because they are like It's not that I don't like them. Everybody loves those games, and I'm the only one that doesn't like Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2. My fucking panel on Planet Xbox doesn't even play those fucking games. More games are coming. What? What games? Tell me. Is there a list somewhere that I don't see? Is there a list? Does somebody bring me a list? I don't see any games. Forza Horizon 4. Okay. I just shit myself. I'm so excited. What games? We got Gears of War 5, Kate's Story, maybe next year. Crackdown 3 and fucking Oblivion. Where's that? And a bunch of fucking studios. And HR fucking lists of people. I got people's names. I got a list of people's names. I got Fred and Jane, and this one fucking flushed the bowls over at Naughty Dog. She flushed bowls. We got the writer at Red Dead who was in the bathroom when they were making the story. I don't give a fuck who these people are. I'm not here measuring up people's credentials. I don't give a shit if they hired fucking like the owner of a studio. Look at what's her name. What's her name left Naughty Dog and went to fucking EA and then left again. Like, and got fired. Look at David Jaffe. Oh, what an amazing guy he is. Has he come up? The creator of God of War and Twisted Metal he made. Like, I don't give a shit of these people. Look, what's his name? The other fucking what's his name? The guy that made BioShock. Fuck, is he chilling somewhere on vacation somewhere? Like, you should not sell. Like, it's interesting that they develop. Yeah, Fable. Oh, please. Microsoft, if they go through Gamescom and do not confirm that Fable's being made, one game coming out. One game. Yeah, Drawn to Death. Yeah, he did Drawn to Death. An amazing game. That's what I mean. You got to measure people on the product. I do not give it, just like Kojima. Like, game is not guaranteed to be fucking amazing. Just because Jeff Keighley's on his ball sack about it and Jeff Keighley Promotions is on it, that doesn't really fucking matter. Like, just because Kojima can make a game, it doesn't mean that he's going to come out. And yes, games are coming. I know. But you got to look back and look at the quality that you got already from those studios. You say Smash and Spider-Man. Go back, Nintendo and Sony. What have they given you in the last 6 months? You got Mario Tennis Aces. You want to go into holiday last year. You had Super Mario Brothers. Super Mario Odyssey. You go Sony, you have fucking God of War. Quote unquote game of generation. Like, you had Yakuza 6. Like, look at the games that they're coming out with. These games are not, and then you go back and look at Microsoft, and then they got Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2. And those games were horrible. The thing is that Sony could have a dud. They could have Spider-Man come out and be a fucking 50. It doesn't matter. As long as they came out with like some quality games this year. Microsoft is hitting fail after fail. All right? But you said games are coming. What games are coming from? And I was talking about Microsoft. I'm not talking about fucking the other guys. They already did their job to me. Yeah, Shadow Colossus, they already did their job. Like, yo, they did an excellent job. I got games to play for them. But everybody goes, games are coming. Ashen was supposed to come out in October. That got my dead delayed. That's going to Game Pass. I love this, how we know the game. Like, Microsoft's not afraid about talking about the services. Like, yo, Crackdown's coming to Game Pass. Ashen's coming to Game Pass. But fuck to show the game, or fuck to tell me when the game is, like, when the game's coming out, or fuck to tell me anything about the game. The only thing I know about is that's coming to Game Pass. Same shit happened with Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2. They didn't talk shit about it until the month of its release. But I knew that it was Game Pass, play anywhere, suck my dick, fuck my ass, all this other shit too. But I didn't know anything about the fucking game. Like, come on. They talk out their ass with fucking services. Let's talk about Project Scarlet in 2021, but fuck if I tell you when Crackdown 3 is going to come out and show you gameplay of it. Let me talk about my fucking streaming box, but oh shit, I'm not going to show you any fucking Halo. I'll talk about my fucking streaming box. They're real quick to talk about that bullshit, but when it comes to the games, they're silent as a motherfucker. And that's the problem that I have with them. And what happens is that they're not talking about it. But a dedicated fan is sitting here going, I'm good. You're good, you're good. All right? I'm not here to tell you shouldn't be a fan of something. Everybody's a fan of something else. I'm just saying I personally don't share the same faith that they're going to do a good job because they have failed recently and they're failing now. And I don't have the confidence in them that they're going to right the ship and come back like Rocky and knock back Sony and Nintendo and be the dominant that they were with this regime that they got right now. Phil Spencer may be good for gaming, but he's good for gaming. He might not be good for Xbox. And people seem to mix that up. Microsoft's committed to gaming. Xbox is just a little part of that now. Xbox does not equal gaming to Microsoft. Gaming is its own thing, and Xbox is just a device that's for the gaming. Just like their PC, just like that. And that's wonderful. Microsoft does not care about being number one. So why should anybody else? Because all I see is people tell me stories or people say how they're on the right path, they're coming back. Well, that kind of indicates that Xbox is going to be back to number one. But we all can admit that they don't give a shit about being number one. They don't care about selling NPD ones. They care about engagement and getting their shit on every fucking device possible. So if that's Microsoft's strategy, how can you sit and be excited for a part of the puzzle, the Xbox, when it doesn't mean what it used to mean to them? When Peter Moore came in, he wanted to be number one. He wanted to dominate Sony. He wanted to beat them. And he made deals, and they made partnerships, and they made games. And we benefited from them because they were competitive. Now they want to be kumbaya and let us sit and wait and say, we hired a few people and some studios. Have fun, everybody. And think that we should get excited about controllers and excited about some fucking PUBG sticker on a box. That just doesn't cut it, man. But anyway, I got to head out. Sorry to get into the special edition consoles, guys, but thank you very much. I appreciate it. The engagement. Thank you. I know, man. I know, Tyga. I agree, Tyga. I know exactly what you're talking about. It is another time. And it's a business. And, we'll see what it is. I just don't have the super confidence in it, but, we'll see what they do. But it's just, I just don't like that they try to sell they just try to do other things, man. And, it just annoys me. Just do what you do special, make games, make us enjoy it and have a good time, and stop trying to just tell people to stick around and wait and try to say, well, we changed the dashboard. Let's have a good time. But, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Like, share the video. I'm going to head out. Again, this has been Jez7780 or Grinds My Gears. Follow me over on Twitter. Follow me on YouTube. Share it out. I'm definitely getting a lot more hits, and I appreciate the 15, 16 people that came in. I appreciate it, man. Thank you again. I appreciate all the engagement in the chat. Again, this is how I feel, and I'm not changing any fans or anything like that. This is how I personally feel about it. But, everybody do what you want, enjoy, have fun gaming, and I'll see you online. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks again.